What's up, friends? Today we're going to be talking about how to prepare for a live PA techno set. In particular, how many patterns to prepare per hour. Maybe you've booked yourself on a roster to play a gig, either live in person or on YouTube or live stream like Twitch. The first time, I will say it is a challenging task because there's so many things going through your mind, and it's very easy to freak out and to look at preparing for the set as like this huge monumental task. It is a big task, but in reality, it's very easily doable. If you have enough time to prepare, you can totally do it. Don't do like I did and wait until the night before and then freak out. From my experience, I have been in that position. It is a lot to take on at one time. So the way I would recommend doing it, approach the set with just a basic math problem, and that is, how many hours are you playing and how many patterns should fit per hour. And the sweet spot I've found has been shooting to play for 6 patterns an hour, which is 10 minutes per track, per idea, motif, per pattern. Every 10 minutes you shift the sound completely. So you can do all this improvisational, changing the sounds and changing the pattern up, but to do like a complete shift every 10 minutes or to morph into the next thing, I think 10 minutes is a sweet spot. That being said, I would prepare 8 patterns per hour. So that gives you the leeway to do 7.5 minutes per pattern. With techno in particular, you can play and get to a point to where things kind of feel like things aren't moving enough. You can just feel it. You can just feel it in your gut. Just listen to your gut, because you'll get to a point sometimes where it's like, okay, this pattern kind of sucks, or it's just getting boring. And I guarantee you, if you're feeling that, your audience is feeling that, and they might be feeling it a lot earlier than you do. So when it's time to change, make the change and move on. Give yourself the leeway to be able to have extra patterns to do that. And also, it's important not to let yourself rush through your patterns. That's why I like to break it down in terms of patterns per hour, because I can look at the clock and go, okay, I'm 7 minutes in. Do I like this pattern? I'll let it roll for a little longer, or if it's time to change, I'll change. Every 10 minutes though, I just go ahead and move on to the next thing. Unless it's a really, really good pattern, which has happened. Things sound good, you're feeling good, and you're like, okay, yeah, I can let this roll because it's epic, which happens in the jam setting, in an improvisational setting. But 15 minutes, I would say, is like the cap. Move on. Don't be that guy that's like stuck in the loop for longer than 15 minutes. I have done a set where I had 8 patterns prepared over 2 hours. So that's 15 minutes per pattern. And I'm telling you right now, it can feel like a big stretch to do that, and you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to change patterns too quickly. Even if like it's not feeling that great, you have to fill the set. Bottom line, you have to play till the end, and you don't want to get to a point to where like you rush through everything and now you have 30 minutes left, and now everything you play is going to be completely improvised and potentially sound like garbage, which has also happened. So there you go. That's what I would do. I would prepare to play 6, but be ready to play 8 per hour. And that's totally convenient for something like an octatrack, because things are done in groups of 8. So there's 4 parts per bank, which gives you potentially, with 8 banks, you could play for 4 hours and just keep things rolling all the way through. After you've laid the foundation and you have your core patterns built for your entire set, you have the 1 pattern per 7.5 or 10 minutes, then from there you can add sub patterns per song. So what I like to do with techno in particular is the first pattern has everything going, and then you can play with that and change it up as you go. Another pattern I like to add, because it's a little more difficult to mute everything except for like a kick drum and a bass line module, because I also want to like turn the cutoff down or maybe turn the reverb up and then kill the reverb real quick, is to make that second pattern with just the bass drum and like a bass line module. That will give you the ability to do this like epic build up with the filter and then turn the reverb up, and then you hit the next pattern, and once it's ready to drop, you turn everything back down, and you don't have to mute everything by hand. It happens because your pattern is made that way. So I would do that. But first you have to lay the core down, and then you can do sub patterns to make your track a little more complicated. You can also do a pattern as an intro or a build up into your big pattern and add that in. Definitely you want to have your core laid down first, and then you can add either before or after that. With all that being said, in a live situation where you can interact with the crowd and the audience can also interact with each other, if the vibe is good, everything's going great, and people are feeling the sound, like you got the right crowd that are there for the music that you're making, then I think you can stretch it even a little further. I saw Voices from the Lake play at Output in New York City many years ago, and that kind of inspired me to get into live PA altogether. I remember looking at my watch when the pattern changed, the vibe changed, and looking at it later, and it was like 20-30 minutes into it and they were still going, but the crowd was totally enjoying it. So I think in a live setting you can get away with longer. That's my spiel on how many patterns to prepare for a live techno set. So definitely use your gut, use your instincts, think about it, try it out, experiment. If you've done this, I would love to hear what your experience is in the comments. Please let me know. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like this video. I looked at my stats and the majority of my views come from non-subscribers. So it'd be awesome to get some more subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. See you next time.